Hi guys, welcome to it. Yes, we are still braving it, and this time around I'm braving it with a dear old friend, Bogosi Motshegwa. How are you, friend?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
Good.
And how are you?
I'm good, I'm strong, I'm brave.
I love that.
So guys, I met Bogosi some years ago, and in fact, I had to brave it with you because I did not know you from a bar of soap. I hit you up on LinkedIn and you responded. I actually just loved your profile because it spoke to the kind of work I was doing then. And asked if we could meet up, and you said yes, came to your offices in Melrose, and that's how we met. And here we are today.
I remember.
You remember?
Vividly. I even remember the boardroom we were in.
Wow, it was years. When was it? Just out of interest.
I think it was 2017.
2017.
It was 2017.
And that's actually when my speaking and all of me, in fact, putting myself out there began. Was 2017.
Yes, we spoke about
Probably
that.
after our engagement.
Yeah, definitely.
Bogosi is the Chief Creative and Strategy Officer at Black River FC and Brand Reserve Company. He's also the founder of his own agency, Thinkeneur. In fact, when I think of that term, I think entrepreneur and I think engineer, but yours is about the mind, you know, bringing clarity to things that you're working on. So I absolutely love that.
Thank you.
And you're also an advisory council member at the Vega School of Brand Leadership. Halala.
Amen.
Bogosi, you know, I naturally, you know, just did a bit of reading up, digging, just to see what I'm going to find on the internet. And there was an interesting clip that you shared some time back. And somewhere in that clip, you said, when you sell yourself short. So perhaps speaking to entrepreneurs, when you sell yourself short. You know, I had to double click on that and say, hey, this guy, what does that mean? How are we selling ourselves short?
I think it comes from, and you know, forget brand building, forget marketing. I think it comes from just engaging with humans. So imagine if you were in a close-knit of friends, and there was always this somebody who's always trying to sell, always trying to sell, always trying to sell. It's going to put you off. So from a human-to-human perspective, I don't think we need to sell. In fact, something happened today where somebody was saying something about them being humble, and we're like, nah, wait for us to tell you about your humility. You don't package your personality and say, this is who I am, because it is the experience that actually tells us who you are. So even from a brand building perspective, so ultimately, you know, some people may argue that it is a business, you need to sell, but you don't always have to do it overtly. If you think about the things that resonate with us, things that we connect or gravitate towards, very rarely is it about a transaction. It's things that we feel, it's things that are relevant to us, it's things that connect to us emotionally. So when you sell, it comes off as though you are forcing the situation. You know, there are people who've since, you know, spoken about this thing. They speak about the value of giving. Gary Vee also speaks about this thing. He's got a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. That's an analogy for giving, and then you ask for people to buy. I.e., from a content perspective, you provide insight, you provide perspectives, you provide a POV. By doing so, you're building an audience. By the time you give your right hook, which is i.e., it may be a product or a service, where you say, come to my event, or I've got a book, you've already built a credible audience, and now it's easier there to sell.
Can you tell me about a time when you worked on something that fell flat, like if lopile, it just didn't work, and yet resources were plowed into that and it just did not work? And as well as, and then what was your relationship with failure like then when that was happening? And what is the relationship with failure like now?
Professionally, I don't want to say there isn't, but I don't think I've had like a spectacular failure or disaster, but it's more personal. Oh, actually two maybe. One personal and one professional. Personal one, and most people don't know this. So I failed my grade 11 or standard 9. So I failed grade 11. And the reason I failed was, but I'm so grateful. So I used to like be with friends all the time. Go where friends go. I used to be that guy. But the people that I hung around, you know, we were like in the same grade. But then fast forward, the results came, everybody passed, but I failed. So that was sort of like a light bulb pivoting moment for me, where I'm like, but we're supposed to be on the same team.
Oh.
So we're talking about the same things. We were all tired about school, like we didn't want anything to school. So to me, then said, oh, so it meant when I went back home, I slept and they didn't. They did the work. But I think I'm glad it happened that way, because I think that's where the discipline which carries through in my professional life came in. Then I started to focus.
Wow.
Literally. And for some reason, I never even had the embarrassment to go back to school and do a grade. Because deep down, I knew I wasn't ready for my matric. The second one was when I was studying, when I lost my brother. For me, that was like, it's over. You know, I was like, this is it. There was no greater failure. Failure in that I felt that I could have done something. You know, I felt that there was stuff that I was seeing which wasn't right, but, you know, especially with doctors, you know, I came out, I don't know how true this is, but during that time when my brother was sick, taking him from there to there, and this is the other thing that I learned, that when you are desperate, you will do anything and everything that somebody tells you to do. To say, if you do this, this will be, your brother will be fine. Or if you do this, like literally you will believe anything. So for me, even when I see people do what we would say it's crazy stuff or crazy things on TV when it comes to churches, these mega churches or whatever, at the same time, it's like I get it.
Desperation, yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So when I lost him, I was like, it's over. Because my trajectory and my life was attached to him. And it was about, because I could see my parents were never forced to get me to where I was. So I was like, I'm going to take over. I'm going to do for him what you guys did for me. So in my mind, like life for the next 5-10 years was planned out. I could see it. I was the one going to take him to tertiary. You know, I was going to be the brother, the big brother. And then when he left, it was like, there was no point anymore. You know, it's like, so I think post that, and then I was studying at that time, and then literally I had given up. But my dad encouraged me to go on, you know. And then I carried on, and then I studied. So for me, and I loved what my dad said, was that as long as you're alive and healthy, there's nothing you should be worried about, scared about. So it's natural to be scared or frightened or, you know. But as long as you are alive, so he said, the only time where there's nothing else you can do is when you're dead. But as long as you're breathing and you're healthy, you're good to go. So I've always kept that, and, you know, even when it comes to work, so the back of my mind, I know it's just a brief, it's just a thing. If a client gives us a deadline, it's like, it's arbitrary, you know. If it wasn't you, somebody else in your place would have said, actually, the date is this.
You've also got a movement going, and you mentioned earlier on when we were speaking, off camera, and that movement is called Team Philanthropy. Guys, I absolutely love what this stands for. And I think in it, you try to reframe the idea of philanthropy by saying that we don't need only money to help people. There's so much more. And team, in your case, stands for time, investing your time, your energy, your attention, and your mind. So that's the team, TEAM, time, energy, attention, and mind, in order to help other people. I'm going to put you on the spot and say, perhaps you can share 1 or 2 testimonies of people whom you have helped using that philosophy, where it just worked so brilliantly for someone else.
Time, energy, attention, and mind.
Yeah.
I think it's a fact that when you live in the township, your view gets limited, just by the environment. I remember where I tried to apply this thing, where I started engaging with young people, and my whole thing was to widen their view of the world. And there was one incident where it hurt me, and it made me realize how, for lack of a better expression, I think how damaged we are as Black people. So I gave this young man a book to read, and then the plan was to have a review session of the book. So he reads it, and then we discuss it. What do you understand about the book? What is it saying? Did it give you insight? Are there any takeaways that you can implement? And then the family accused me of something bigger. They were like, why are you giving our child a book? What is your plan? What are you trying to do? You know how it is, Bogosi, where there are these things where if somebody gives you a book, then it's like, don't read it.
Those myths.
Those myths. Yes. So,
no, man.
So that came back to me. I was so hurt. So hurt. And I could see the potential of this young man. Also, what inspired me or drove me was, obviously I could see the circumstance at home. So I wanted to help him navigate so that he can be the light at home. Interestingly, this thing of team philanthropy about time, energy, attention, and mind, what I learned is that sometimes you do need more than that. You can have the time, the energy, attention that will help from a mindset perspective, but you do need the tangible help.
What would you say is the biggest thing that you are currently braving at the moment?
I think the thing that I'm braving now is being a father, being a single father. So the mother of my child and I separated. Well, my son is going to turn 8 next year. So I'm going to live with him full time. So it's just me and him. We've never done that. He's always lived with his mother. So just psychologically thinking about how am I going to manage being fully present, and then trying also to take advantage of the things that are happening professionally, which are exciting. How do I balance the two? Being fully present, being a father who... So for me, I've always wanted to have influence of... obviously, children are influenced by a number of things. But I wanted to be the primary influence and be close to him.
And that's what you are braving at the moment.
That's what I'm braving.
You're going to be all right. You're going to be all right. We are doing it every day.
Some
of us. Juggling it all. Business.
Amazing.
This, that, boy.
I know. I'll ask for tips.
We are. No.
I'll ask for tips.
Guys, thank you so much. I hope you got out so much more than you expected. He's an incredible mind, the Thinkeneur. So thank you so much, Bogosi, for coming through and braving all of that traffic.
I'm telling you. Never.
Good. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Remember to like, comment, and more importantly, subscribe to the channel.